Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. Today I have the next segment in our Happy Album series. I have fixed my Happy Album, so now it is more happy, and I actually have a second album I want to talk to you about. With my original Happy Album that I showed in my last video, I now have it where I have my tabs attached, and I have also added in extra pages to add space where I can place pictures or decorate my pages however I would like to. I also have purchased an extra cover set because I have now created a second album that is going to be the one for YouTube that I'm going to update you all on every month. So I've got this really fun pale yellow doodle album cover that I'm going to be putting my pages into here in just a moment. I want to show you how to use this. But I also want to talk a minute about, here's my cover page, and I want to show you how I made the tabs and give you a little preview of what my January looks like now. I've got my Happy Album Hour coming up later this week, where we'll spend a little time on Zoom working on our Happy Albums. And after that, of course, I will film the next segment in this series on what I've updated to my album. I've added a little bit of designer paper, a little bit of a border here. I did put up a new video on YouTube on Monday. This was our butterfly video, and also I am planning on going live at the end of the month. And I also have other crops and classes coming up this month. But this is what I'll show you. You are going to get a little sneak peek at what's coming and what has happened. So I've added a 4x6 peekaboo pocket to my designer paper page here. And earlier this month I posted this card, this butterfly card, to YouTube, to my channel, because I had a request for a purple butterfly. But of course, the one I actually show on camera isn't the first one I've made. So this was an earlier interpretation of the butterfly, and I decided I really didn't like it with the lighter background on it, so I did the one with the darker background later. But I'm putting those in my peekaboo pocket to remind me that I've already posted that to YouTube. And then coming up during our live, I had created a Christmas tag and used our Joy to the World paper pack. But I want to actually change this up and do it for a birthday party. And so that way, if you're giving a gift to somebody for their birthday, and you want some fun paper and a tag to attach to their bag, we're going to switch this one up, and we're going to use our Party Time Bright collection. And I'm also going to create a companion card. So what I've done here is attached a little piece of paper using our repositionable tape runner, and essentially this entire sheet can come up or be placed back down. And I've done my notes on kind of how I think I'm going to do my birthday card, but as you can see, sometimes what I do the first time isn't what it winds up being. But at least I have my notes ready for myself. And then looking ahead, I have my other months set up and ready to go. I have kind of some of my dates planned, but I don't actually have my videos yet planned for next month. You might get a sneak peek at that in the next video. So for the sheet I attached here in my notes for January, so I purchased one of our Spargo paper packs, and it comes on a 12 by 12 sheet you can use on any of your scrapbook pages. However, I cut it down. One side is lined and one side is blank. So if you just want to draw a picture, you can use the blank side, or if you want to do some journaling, if you want to use it as a mat for some of your pictures in your regular albums, I wanted to use the line side, and so I cut a 3" by 6" piece of paper, and I actually took the entire one of my entire sheets, and I created essentially a series of pieces of paper that I can attach if I want to pull it up off of my little paper holder here and place down a new one, or if I need to add extra notes to my page, I can just go ahead and use my repositionable tape and stick it on down. If I have extra notes that I want to do for this card later, I can attach it on top. It gives me a lot of extra options. And I like that the lines are a little bit wider, that I can just write wherever or draw my pictures for what I'm planning. The extra pages I bought, I did a mix of both the white pages and the Fast to Fab I showed you in the last video. So this is one of the Fast to Fab pages I left in the book, and that will be in February. We'll see that, however, after the January, I did use some of our designer paper from our Seaside collection, and just to add a little brightness to the page here. On the other side of my page, I used a peekaboo pocket, and this way it adds a lot of extra flexibility. Not only does it let me put my cards in, it lets me be able to add extra pictures or other items underneath it as well. And I used our 4x6 size, which comes 2 directions. I chose this direction because it worked easier for my cards, but I easily could have attached one of these, and they have adhesive already on the peekaboo pocket to attach to the page. And then we also have these 5x7 sizes, but for what I wanted, I just felt like the 5x7 was a little bit large, although it could easily go in sideways on one page, and you might see me using one later in the year on a page. For my tabs, I'm going to show you. I actually need to attach November and December still. Move this out of the way. For my tabs, what I did was I cut mostly the Autumn Hay shimmer paper, 2.5 inches by 1.5 inches, and then I took my corner rounder and I just rounded each of the 4 corners. And I got the idea for using the tabs this way from one of our other advisors, Noreen Smith. She does her tabs a little bit longer, and she corner rounds it a little bit differently. For me, I wanted to use the Autumn Hay shimmer because it's one of our heaviest cardstocks, and I know that I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of these. So I also did use my scoring blade and put a score line so it would fold a little bit easier. And you'll notice in October and April, I used our Starry Night shimmer paper because this is when our National Scrapbook Day month will probably be happening and our Croptoberfests. So I thought it's just a little bit more of a special month, so why not change it up a little bit and add something a little different there. I am going to attach my November, which I haven't actually marked my November and December pages yet, just because they're a little bit far off. However, I found that instead of using the tape runner, we need to use our glue pen to attach these, just because of the heaviness of the cardstock. And I'm attaching the tab to the jeeping on the page, because then that way we can still get our page protectors over the tabs. So here's November. I want to make sure that I see it and that I can place it lower than where my October tab was. So I'm going to take a quick measure here, figure about halfway, we'll be about there. And here we go. So you want to hold it for a minute here and let the glue kind of find itself. Because the one thing that when I did test it with the tape runner just wasn't quite strong enough to hold this folded over the jeeping on the page. So I did need to use the glue pen, and the glue pen works. I'm going to put my cover set on top of that just for now to help hold it and keep it secure, so I can go ahead and do December as well. And again, I'm gonna fold it on my score line, run a quick little line with my glue pen, and this stuff is amazing. If you haven't used our glue pens, they are wonderful. You squeeze this part a little bit to help the glue come out a little bit faster, and they really work well. Precision point adhesive is right. I'm able to just put a little dot on where I want it to go for the jeeping. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and put December towards the bottom. Since it's the last month of the year, I don't really have to measure it as much as I did the other one. So I'm going to hold it together another minute. And even though it comes out of the pen blue, the glue comes out of the pen blue, it dries clear. So there's really nothing to worry about if you ever use it on a regular page. It really just does a fabulous job. It works well for envelopes. And then that way you don't have to worry about, if you make an envelope using one of the tape runners, you might have a little bit of stickiness on the side. Whereas with the glue pen, you don't have to worry about it. Once it's dry, it's dry. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so there's December. I'm going to go ahead and take my cover off. And, oops, pull out my extra pages that I had cut. Set those aside, and we are going to go ahead and assemble my business planner. Set those to the side. I don't need my cutting mat. And here we go. If you've never used our strapping system, it really holds in the pages wonderfully. You just maneuver it through the tabs here, and we'll be ready to put on our pages. Set that aside, and I'll go ahead and grab a few of my pages here, line them up, make sure that your staples are lined up to go over the plastic part that needs to run through it. That's all there is to it. See where I already even have my December, and it's already staying tight. Oops, it looks like I missed one of my staples here, so I'm going to go back, just pop it right in, line these back up. Oops, here we go. I think I'm going to add one more page just to have an extra page in case I want to add some extra notes later, but I had an extra blank page, so I thought I might as well use it. And then I also have the end of the planner pages that I haven't actually attached yet that I can put on the end here, and there's also extra space for notes on that as well. Let me go ahead and put my book back together first. So you put in your space here, you bring it up through the back end of the book. And there you go. You just pull everything through nice and tight. Here we go. And my happy album is ready for action. I am going to attach this last sheet to the back page here. That way I'll have it in here ready to go when I'm ready for it. And I can just add whatever other designer sheets that I want. And this actually gives me the extra space after December to be able to fill in my month there as well. Oops. I did not make it tight enough. As you can see, my album is just about ready to go. I need to tighten up a little bit in the back here. I didn't quite get it tight enough. So if you don't get yours tight enough, then you need to go back and do what I'm doing here and just tighten it up a little bit more. There we go. You can kind of check your spine and make sure that's nice and tight in there. Go ahead and pull in your straps, and much better. Here we go. I had a little extra leeway there. And now we'll pull it through. And my happy album is ready to go. I'm all set for the year for all these pages I have planned for you. And I've also added in our Creative Memories virtual crop weekends as well. If you don't know about those, in Facebook there's a virtual crop group where they post sketches every month and challenges, and there's prizes as well. Well, thank you so much for watching me put together my happy album. And hopefully you're enjoying this series and you'll want to see the next episode. So please subscribe. And if you hit the bell as well, YouTube will notify you when I get my next episode uploaded. See you next month.